He was a David unafraid to fight multiple Goliaths at the same time. Defying the odds at every level, high school, college, and the pros, he was always told, "You're too small." But once he stepped on the court, the 5'9" speed demon led defenders into his own private game of hide and seek, always leaving the Giants one step behind. Calvin Murphy was born on May 9, 1948, and grew up in Norwalk, Connecticut. Murphy followed the lead of his sisters and aunt, who all twirled the baton. Other kids called him a sissy, but this only made Murphy double down on his practice, winning a national championship as an 8th grader in 1963, and he performed at the New York's World Fair the following year. He was introduced to basketball by his mother, who stood at over 6 feet tall and once played on a semi-professional team in North Carolina. Murphy may be the only NBA player in history whose mother taught him how to shoot. He took to basketball the same way he approached baton twirling. He saw the dribbling, the defense, and the shooting all as an art form. Murphy admitted that he was clumsy at first, but the junior high school basketball court stood 3 doors down from his home, and he began practicing day and night. He played in heavy work boots to enhance his jumping ability while having a snow shovel handy in winter so he could clear out a space to play. Despite his growing skill in the sport, his high school friends discouraged him from trying out for the team, telling him that he was too small. Murphy ignored the doubters. He played basketball, making varsity in the 10th grade. He ran cross country, played tennis, and golf. He gave up football as a sophomore when coach Jack Cronin wanted him to focus exclusively on basketball. The coach gave him the finer points on dribbling, passing, rebounding, defending, and shooting. Murphy then became a high school phenom. Wherever he played, the gymnasiums were filled to capacity. He averaged 25.6, 31.8, and 40.3 points per game during his 3 years as a varsity player. He scored 59 points in the Class A championship game, leading his team to the state title. After his senior year, Murphy played at the Dapper Dan Classic in Pittsburgh, scoring 37 points. Boston Celtics coach Red Auerbach was on hand, calling him the best high school player he had ever seen. Numerous colleges offered him scholarships, but Murphy chose the little-known Niagara University in New York. He didn't want to be just another guy on the bench at a big school. Niagara promised to build their program around him, and that was the situation he wanted to be in. "Those college days," Murphy said, "were among the happiest of my life." In his first college game, he scored 41 points. In his second, he scored 57. But Murphy's game evolved during his time at Niagara. By his senior year, he began to shoot less, and he blossomed in other areas like defense and passing. He became a floor general and a 3-time All-American. After scoring 68 points against Syracuse, he led Niagara to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 25 years, helping the team advance into the second round. But his options after college looked iffy. It was expected that the pros would take one look at him and tell him to come back 2 or 3 inches later. Murphy wanted to play professional, even if it meant signing with the Harlem Globetrotters. The Pittsburgh Condors of the ABA drafted him. A lot of experts thought that would be Murphy's best bet, as he could capitalize on the ABA's 3-point play. In the NBA, the San Diego Rockets grabbed Murphy in the second round. Murphy signed with the Rockets, as he wanted to play against the best. There were some who saw his selection by San Diego as something the team did for publicity. At 5'9" and 160 pounds, sports writer Jim Murray wrote, "You figure he had about as much chance to last in the NBA as a pork chop in a lion's den." Because of his size, Murphy once again had to prove himself. San Diego's rookie coach Alex Hannum was hardly thrilled with the selection of Murphy, criticizing his jump shot. "He said I took too long to come down," Murphy said. Even the security guards didn't believe he was a player. One night, Murphy got to the arena in Chicago late, and the guard told him to buy a ticket. Murphy took his uniform out of his bag to show him that he was a player. The guard didn't believe him, and it took the trainers to intervene on Murphy's behalf. Murphy finished third on the team in scoring in his rookie year. He played close to 25 minutes a game, but wanted more. The team finished with a losing record, which Murphy took hard. After blowing a lead in the final minute in a game against Baltimore, Murphy cried in the locker room before speaking to his teammates. "I looked at all their sad faces and I felt I owed them something," Murphy said. "I just told them, 'Fellas, everybody played a hell of a game. I let you down by making a couple of costly errors. I choked.'" 2 more losing seasons followed, and Murphy saw his playing time dip in his third year, going from 31 minutes a game to 22. He wanted a trade, and if he didn't get one, he threatened to play with the Harlem Globetrotters. New coaches came and went. Alex Hannum, Tex Winter, then Johnny Egan. Under Egan, Murphy began to flourish. In the 1973-74 season, he finished second on the team in scoring with 20 points a game, and when guard Mike Newland was sidelined, Murphy scored 75 points over 2 games, becoming a starter. By 1975, Murphy began setting records for making consecutive free throws. At the free throw line, his superior mental focus could be seen on full display. "You have to shut everything out," Murphy said. "It's a matter of concentration. I just concentrate on the mechanics of the shot and make sure I do the same thing each time." Murphy became Mr. Automatic at the free throw line. No one even bothered to look.
Basketball game, they always seem like they try to run a play for the center, but it looks like to me that they're trying to get their guards in low. And as we mentioned, here's Earl Monroe against Calvin Murphy. We'll see a lot of this today. Calvin Murphy making it tough for Monroe to get off the shot. He missed it all. And the loose ball is taken down by Ratliff. Neil Jackson doubling up on him, almost stealing the ball. Now they go to Calvin Murphy. Earl Monroe loses him, and Calvin Murphy takes it down the baseline. Perfectly got the wicket back to the basket, tipped in by Ed Ratliff. They would have had a layup, but instead they turned the basketball over. Very proficient ball handling for a big man, though, as Jackson brought it down court. It is 10-9. Houston by 1. Calvin Murphy takes it right through. Can't get the shot, but he does draw the whistle. And Calvin Murphy goes to the free throw line for the Houston Rockets. Here's a guy 5'9", can stuff that ball 2 hands. Okay, on this particular play, he actually dribbled the ball between his legs and changed direction, and Monroe hit him on the back, and he gets a chance to make 2 free throws. One of the really good free throw shooters in the NBA. He indeed is. He's second to Rick Barry's 90%. Calvin Murphy hitting over 88% during the regular season. Point replacing Earl Monroe. He'll walk in the game along with Bill Bradley and Hawthorne Wingo up front. The Rockets going with Murphy, Newland, Ratliff, Hawes, and Tom Genovich. Sooners is on the sideline. Calvin Murphy drives inside, gets the ball over 6-11. Neil Walker. The Knicks on the run. Lead pass intended to Hawthorne Wingo. The Knicks again throw it away. Here is Calvin Murphy trying to drive on Frazier. He shuts it off. Whaley at 6'6", drives the basket, lays it off flat. And it's in the NBA. And he's very awkward-looking shooter, but very effective. Knicks cannot hit. They're only getting 1 shot. The Rockets are getting the ball right back off the board. Here's Calvin Murphy, the distance, and lays it in. This game is opened up. The Rockets are trying to go inside of Frazier. The ball is trapped. Ratliff comes up with it. The Knicks turning the ball over time after time. And the Rockets getting it back and keeping the heat on. Calvin Murphy. He is an assassin out there now. You know, Don Houston's made this big run at him late in the second quarter. 70-53, the Rockets with their biggest lead, a 17-point advantage. Again, the Knicks get 1 shot and it's no good. Rockets dominating the boards, even more than they did in the first half when they doubled New York's rebound total, 28-14. Newland looks to Calvin Murphy against Barnett. Calvin Murphy, a man with many tricks. Boy, he's lead all scorers in the game. Tom Janovich is the high man for Houston with 19. Calvin Murphy into Abdul-Aziz. He is rejected by Phil Jackson. You know, he went up the first time to stuff the ball the first time. Phil Jackson blocked it, but he was persistent, and with good effort, he made it again. Earl Monroe goes inside. Jackson puts it up. Hawthorne Wingo goes back up, and he'll shoot 2 shots. There are almost no players in the entire entire NBA who can beat this man from one end of the court dribbling a basketball. If they dribble one and he dribbles two, he can dribble two balls down the court faster than almost everybody can dribble one.
Well, he's an incredible person. A man of his size to be able to play in this league is a remarkable accomplishment itself. But to really play well as he's done is even more remarkable.
In and out. Here comes Tomjanovich to Murphy. Racehorse basketballers still going to the whip. Here's Tomjanovich. Man. Steve Hawes is called for traveling, and so with 2:41 left to play, Calvin Murphy leads the game with 20 points and is saluted with a standing ovation. Arthur Wingo drills it. Look at that guy.
While people continued to discriminate against him because of his size, Murphy saw other players' height as their detriment. "I'm not the one with the size problem," Murphy said. "I'm the normal one. It's those 6'4" guards with the size problem."
Hey, what's going on here? Hold it. This is Calvin Murphy, the great guard from the Houston Rockets. Now, it's a bit unusual to see this greatness transferred from basketball into something like baton twirling. What are you trying to do to me? This is a basketball show.
Well, twirling goes along with basketball for me, as far as dexterity is concerned.
Is that right?
Yes.
Does it work with your fingers?
Yes, it's given me great finger control with the baton, along with controlling the basketball with my fingers.
Now, Calvin Murphy, being one of the smallest, if not the smallest guard ever to be so great in the NBA, there are two sides to this. We've discussed this many times. The bigger guys get you, they take you in a pivot, they try to muscle you. You're strong, you're quick, they don't fool around. But there's two sides to it. You're little, you're close to the ground, they got to get you. And that's where that dexterity comes in.
No question about it. If you can hold this, and if we can just change for a second. First of all, because of my fingertip control, I feel that I have the advantage on the larger individual. He has to come down to 5'9" size if he wants to ball.
Yeah, like if I'm 6'4", so I got to come down here. That makes me off balance.
All right, now I have the advantage. I know what I'm going to do with the ball. I can control it. He's out of sync with his body. He cannot move the way I can because of my size.
That's right. I'm too tall, and I've got to bend down to your size.
Right, I'm already down here, so I have the advantage.
You see, what we're trying to say is, all you people out there, and you youngsters, 5'8", 5'9", 5'7", don't give excuses that you're too small. If you can work at it, pay the price, and do the job, always remember, you're close to the ground. The ball is on the floor here. You can keep bouncing that ball. He's got to come down to you. So remember that. All right, Calvin, let's see a few dexterity drills. They're ridiculous. All right, now how does that relate if you're going to twirl the baton?
Well, I'm dribbling with my fingers here.
Watch this. He doesn't even have to watch anything. He's looking at the camera. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that control. This has played a part in that. I remember Calvin Murphy when he was young, and he always could work with that baton and work with that ball.
Murphy often encouraged smaller players to not give up on the sport and to adopt his aggressive mindset to be successful. "You have to know your edge is psychological, not his," Murphy said. "You have to be an aggressor. You have to play as if you have something to prove, and it can be a powerful motivator. You will also have sentiment on your side, and don't underestimate this. I used to have a coach who made me wear uniforms 2 sizes too large. It made you look even smaller. You can almost feel the other guy get overconfident and lazy. By the time he woke up, you had 30 points. Through this attitude, Murphy developed the unlikely reputation as a tough guy. Standing only 5'9", he had fisticuffs with over 17 players over the course of his NBA career, fighting Norm Van Leer, Norm Nixon, Dale Schluter, John Brown, and Sidney Wicks, among others. But the reputation bothered Murphy. He received very little coverage for breaking the free throw record, but after a fight, The press would call him at 7 o'clock in the morning for the scoop. Everybody gets in scraps, Murphy said, but because I'm a 5'9" basketball player in a land of giants, I'm supposed to be a little boy. I'm a full-grown man, and all I want is people to treat me as such. If somebody steps on my toes, they've got to get off. In April of 1977, both Murphy and teammate Rudy White got into an altercation with fans who were shouting obscenities at them. The ushers intervened, averting a brawl. Murphy scored over 25 points per game in the 1977-78 campaign, but resigned himself to the fact that he would never become an all-star, realizing that he would always be overlooked because of his size. I know a lot of people can't accept that a 5'9" man can play professional basketball well enough to be an all-star, Murphy said. They just look at me and say, he's not supposed to be here. In this league, images and reputations mean a lot, and you aren't supposed to be a good basketball player unless you're 6'6". In the 1980-81 season, the Rockets won 20 of their last 35 games to make the playoffs. Coach Del Harris had moved Murphy to the six-man role where he thrived, leading the league in free throw percentage. The Rockets then upset the Lakers in the first round, defeated the Spurs in the semifinals, and then the Kansas City Kings in the Western Conference Finals.
Play by Bertrand. He moved well on his ankle.
Ford committing his first personal foul. Calvin Murphy, Moses Malone follows. That 1-2 punch that they've had, inside and outside. Bertrand thought it was a shooting foul. He came clear over to the Kings bench, and then they had to get back defensively in a hurry. You see the time remaining in this first period. Calvin Murphy, beautiful shot by number 23. It's a 5-point game, and that's the way it's going to end after 12 minutes. And now, as he said, we're healthy. 27-20. 11 minutes to go until halftime. Brent Musburger at halftime highlights Boston, Philadelphia. That'll count. A foul on Birdsong. Chance for a three-point play.
Well, watch Calvin's left arm here. Calvin hits Birdsong with his left arm. He loses the ball a little bit, gets it up on his leg. Now he picks it up and takes another dribble, and that could have been a double dribble right there. Calvin got his left arm up to protect the shot, and Birdsong was called for the foul.
First one on Otis. 5 points
with
now.
One of his bicuspid.
That's the old bicuspid special.
Level with Ford, jumping out on him. Here's Calvin Garrett, who's checked in. He hasn't seen very much action in this series. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Three-pointer by Calvin Murphy. Rebound, Reggie King. Otis Birdsong. Birdsong having his best game of the series with 15 points.
And an outstanding fast break. Almost no dribbling. That was a length of the court. I think only 2 dribbles in the length of the court.
Again, you have to make the other court adjust to you.
Reggie King with his 9th rebound, broken up. Wedman trying to get back, 2-on-1. Calvin Murphy. Wedman trying to draw the charge. 50-48, 2-point lead for Kansas City.
He missed 2 free throws right down the clutch in there, too, but he came back to make another big play.
84-82, 2-point lead. Wedman tried to keep it in play. Calvin Murphy, Lacey is back. Calvin Murphy, fine play.
Just ran by Sam. Then Sam was just, all he could do was get back there. He couldn't do anything about it.
11 points now for Calvin Murphy, the biggest lead of the game for this Houston Rockets team. And we have gotten from these 2 ball clubs. The Kansas City Kings going down to defeat here, but Cotton Fitzsimmons, Jeff Cohen, the entire staff, and of course Houston will be following to the World Championship Finals, which will begin either Sunday or Tuesday, depending upon that series between Philadelphia and Boston. 16 seconds left. Look at the ecstatic people. Calvin Murphy, been a long time coming for this guy, 11 years in the league before he could make it to the championship final.
It's a good year to do it, too.
And so Houston will win their 7th game on the road against only 2 setbacks. Bill, that's a remarkable road record. Last 7 against Kansas City in season for the Kansas City Kings.
Critics said the Rockets only beat Los Angeles because the Lakers self-destructed. The Spurs were overrated, and the Kings were, well, the Kings didn't belong there any more than the Rockets did. But Murphy was used to being underestimated, and he considered his team's entry into the championship finals as the highlight of his career. "We are the team that brought honor to the city of Houston," Murphy said. In the championship series against the Boston Celtics, the Rockets split the first 2 games, holding their own. But they played horribly in Game 3, losing 94-71. Murphy struggled, shooting only 3 of 10 from the field. In Game 5, Murphy collided with Rick Roby for a loose ball and separated his shoulder. He missed the rest of the series, and the Rockets fell to the Celtics in 6 games. Over the next 2 years, Murphy struggled with leg and knee injuries. After getting only 12.8 points per game, well below his career average, Murphy retired from the sport. He continued to work for the Houston Rockets, getting employed as their television analyst. At the time of his retirement, Murphy was the 21st leading scorer in NBA history. In the words of opposing player M.L. Carr, Calvin was a 5'9" guy with a 6'10" heart.